Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Simon, your host of the show, and welcome back to C Sharp Corner Live Show. In this episode of Coffee with Pros, we have an amazing guest joining with us. He's Naveen Sharma. A quick introduction. Naveen Sharma is an enterprise architect, leadership coach, author, international speaker, and very recently he was a keynote speaker in a Light Up conference that was a 24 hours virtual conference meant to raise the funds for COVID-19 affected. We are really excited and humbled to have him today. So let's go ahead and welcome the guest of the show today. Hi, welcome, Naveen. Welcome to the show today.
Welcome, thank you, and I welcome all the viewers
Yeah,
from C Sharp Corner and all our fraternity.
I would really like to thank you for giving us your weekend. I know it's Saturday evening at my place. It may be like 4 p.m. at your place, right?
It's going to be 5 p.m.
Is
So
it?
it's a 2.5 hour difference from India.
All right. Just to give a, we definitely had a quick introduction about you, right? But as a format of the show, Naveen, I would still ask you. I mean, you are well known in the C Sharp Corner community, but I would still ask you to go ahead and give a quick introduction about yourself. So for the people who are joining us for the first time, they will come to know.
So I'm Naveen Sharma, 24 years of experience in IT, and I have worked in different domains of IT. So Gary is, sort of jack of all trades. uh, Information security and the architecture. They are the two key domain areas of my, I say, expertise and my passion about them. I love to coach and mentor the young people because I know when I started on this path, I had one very good mentor, but these days there are lots of confusion among the young generation. They don't know which technology to follow, what to become, and they are even though we at our time we knew that there are technologies which will stay for next 5-10 years, so we knew that what we would like to become, but these days it's pretty dynamic. So I love to coach and mentor on those things, and I contribute to C Sharp community as my second home. And I have earned lots of friends here, so that's small intro about me.
Well, well, I think we are very fortunate to have you, Naveen, on C Sharp Corner community. I think you're someone everyone looks for the mentorship and for the leadership, and also for the how to be a good public speaker. I know you have been a part of many virtual conferences and live shows in the past. You have been contributing and helpful to many of the community members. So definitely, it's an honor for you to join us today in the Coffee with Pros. To get started, Naveen, what are we going to actually talk in today's live show? What is the? I mean, it's not an agenda, but maybe what is our focus going to be
Correct.
today?
So I came up with this topic because I have written a lot on motivation, leadership. I have, given lots of workshops, arranged lots of workshops within my organizations I work and outside my organization as well. So I definitely wanted to know that there is a science behind this topic, and the topic of interest is motivation. How to stay motivated, what exactly is the motivation, how to decode the whole science about it, what are the foods, you would be surprised, what are the foods we need to increase in our diet to stay motivated. So there's all brain science behind it, so I'll definitely will talk more as we go forward with the, so it's all about motivation.
Definitely. I think at this pandemic time, staying motivated is very important as everyone is at their home, staying inside. And so at times, there's a time when we all really get frustrated, right? So I think this is the time when people really need to be connected a lot more than ever. And yeah, staying motivated. Let me go ahead and ask you a very simple, straight question, right? Just the way you said is, what is the first thing that strikes when people should hear motivation? I mean, is it a motivation to run? Is it a motivation to go to
Yeah.
gym? So what exactly is motivation? How would you explain it to any of the layman person?
So I would say, rather on a funny part, for IT people like me, I'm getting weight, gaining weight last 3 4 months. So when we hear word motivation, even I just recall going to gym. You know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so motivation itself, the word itself contains so much energy to it. You and it's all how our belief patterns and our mental fabric is created since our childhood. So every word it is tied to each other. For example, if we here think about jaggery or think about
Mhm.
gulab jamun, we think of sweet, right?
Yeah.
So and then there are some chemicals in my brains when I think about that sweet. Those chemicals start getting released,
Mhm.
and I start craving for it. So that repetition itself relate me to the craving of it, and that craving basically ignites the further chemical which is called dopamine. That it means the motivation. So if we have ample amount of dopamine and it is activated, then it means that we have some motivation to go for. So some motivation to live, some motivation to eat, or anything we do, we need a motivation. And then while staying motivated, it becomes a habit.
Mhm.
So there are, in when you work in different teams and on some complex projects, whether with family members or in your community, what happens is you feel that few people are so energetic.
Yeah.
They just need a bit of guidance and they will get it done, even though they are doing something for first time. And some people are so I would not say lethargic. I would say laid back attitude, and same was me. So laid back attitude that okay, it's okay. I did my best. I don't know. Like so you tell me how to do it. So they lack the motivation actually in science. And as a leader of that program, one must understand and decode it. What are the issues behind these people are not so energetic about this topic or this program as others are, and what would ignite that motivation for that group of people. So it is not that they cannot get motivated. There should be some sort. So I'll you give you some example. There are thieves, right? So
Yeah.
one thief, he steals, because he's just whatever he wants to steal, wants to steal on for your daily, bread and butter only. So if he gets 5,000 rupees, so certainly he will get his weeks through. So
Yeah.
1 week is through, right? So he will
Yeah.
not think about anything else if he has this 5,000 in pocket. So he will just keep on living till the edge, and then he will, then he will get the motivation to steal something more or earn something more by any means. Then there is another guy who has everything, nice suit, to stay, place to stay, eat good, and then he thinks about some majestic theft, to stealing a diamond, or so he thinks on the strategic level, right? So it is, both are motivated, but the motivation is different.
Mhm.
So definitely to start this topic, I will go to the behavioral science first. And there's Maslow's a triangle pyramid of human needs, and which we will decode it, and which I will tell you how there are different stages. There are 5 stages as per Maslow. So these stages depict which one person at which stage, and if he covers that stage, he has secured all the things which comes under that stage. He will crave for the next stage, and that is his core motivation. Only a few will pass stage one, two, three, and will think about, and those are the rest takers. So it is not that there are not a breed. So Elon Musk,
Hmm.
he went straight to the top, right? So
Yeah,
there are people who just jump to the top. He thinks beyond themselves. They think for the cause, and that cause becomes everything for them until they achieve it. So that is why I said it's a risk taking. So can you show the screen?
yeah, definitely. I'll add it. This one.
Yes. So and you can ask question in between if you want to ask. So
Yeah,
when we study MBA, generally this triangle gets covered in as part of HR or people management tactics. So every manager should know that this triangle exists, and it is a very realistic study. Okay, so first is the people crave for physiological studies needs, that is air, water, food, shelter. That is what the first thief I said, right?
yeah,
And if second thief had safety needs, physiological needs, then he wanted to achieve the blue part directly. So he will think that is the how the people who are risk takers, and stealing something is already a risk taking profession. So that is why he jumped to the blue zone directly. And so are the entrepreneurs. They work on some idea, they glue to it, they calculate all the risk, but still they go for it. They put their hard-earned money into that, even though there are very slight chance to get it approved or get it see it as success, but they won't stop. Nothing will stop them until unless they try and they fail. They again try with new idea, and so that is how there was a site called Jungly. Then Yahoo came in picture, and Yahoo became Mr. Bijli was the first, I believe, entrepreneur from India. So he was serial entrepreneur. He never never stopped thinking about some ideas until unless it became reality. So second stage is where they have the basic layer, and then they talk personal security. For example, uh, if I talk related to our audience, so the first graduate, he wants to have a job first. That is the red zone. So I'm in dire need of a job. Do me anything. I'll do anything. Give me any job, right? So I
yeah.
can code. I learn database. So the graduate out of a college is like he thinks of Arjuna. He has lots of hands and he can do anything. So
I
what
can relate
enterprise?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what enterprises do is they hire them. Uh, they do not think about what they have come from, what they have done in your college, what projects, library management project they worked on. No.
Exactly.
So they give them specific training in database, in networks, router switches, in Java or C sharp or whatever, specific training. So they mold them, and after that, their first zone is over. Now they think about, okay, yaar, let me have a bike. I need to buy a bike. So should I go for a loan? Loan, my current salary is not good. I need to switch. And this is a group of people of the same caliber. They discuss within each other. Okay. Oh,
Exactly.
you got in XYZ company. Oh, your salary is too good, man. So let me find a job in your team. Yeah, let me have a job. So this is what. And then when they are settled, they have good salary. They have even a car as well, and the loan is over. The car is theirs now. Then they think, oh, I need to get married. Even the parents in India, they put a pressure. Now you get married. You are older, getting older, right? So you graduated, you have a good job, get married. There is no life
Yeah.
beyond marriage. There is no life. So,
I don't know about that, but we
yeah,
can maybe talk more about it.
yeah. So no. I'm saying for parents, they think like
Yeah.
there's no life beyond marriage. So
Yeah.
okay, so that is covered. Okay, And then they think, now I have a spouse, I must get some recognition, some rewards or accolades which I can hang on my walls, or my spouse can brag about in their circle. Oh, my spouse is so and so, blah blah blah, and they did that, you know. So they meet chief minister, you know, the special like recognition, so something
Yeah.
like that. So that is how one stage to another they keep themselves motivated, because it is the whole ecosystem. They enter into the gate of one stage, the desires of next stage is laying upon them, and then last it's a self actualization. I believe it comes after the 45 years of age, when you have achieved enough, your kids are college going, and you have done enough, and then you think, okay, I should start a blog, or I should write a book. Oh, I love gardening so much, I should have a small garden. So then people start thinking of alternate hobbies they have suppressed so long, but they are good at it. If they could have made these hobbies one of their hobbies as a mainstream profession, they could have achieved more, because that hobby gives them a feeling of accomplishment, right? So
Yeah.
this is a self actualization. When we start actually getting happy, till the green portion, we are getting happier for others. Because why do I need safety? Because I have to keep my family. I need to get married. Why I need to love my family? Because so that is the only way I can keep them together with me. If I get stuck in a problem, no one will come. So it is a generic notion, right? We
Yeah.
tell them you should love thy neighbor. Why? Because he is the first guy, first relative who will come to you for help. So ultimately, there is a tit and tat, tit for tat. So you love them, only then they will come for help. They will
Yeah.
not come for help if you don't love them, right?
Yeah.
So, so there is a strings. There are strings attached to it, but this is what. And now, on funny note, let's flip to the additional, evolved version of this uh, pyramid. Correct. So now Wi-Fi is everything, right?
Yeah.
So even though you get a relatives or friends visiting your home, so if you ask them, this is the charging cable, do you need to recharge your phone? They would become happy. They will not become happy if you ask them some cold drink or some. No, no, no. And if you share your Wi-Fi password, oh man, you are God to them, right?
Yeah.
See, they will talk in silence. Okay. See, how good are they? They shared their Wi-Fi password. So so this is just the comic notion to
Yeah.
it, but it happens. And then there's a one more version, which is uh, social media icons attached to it. For example, psychological needs, and safety and security. That means job. So we'll attach LinkedIn to it. Then social needs, we attached Facebook to it, and then
Mhm.
self-esteem, we attached Twitter to it,
Oh
and
my
self
goodness.
and then self-actualization, we attach some blog to it, your personal blog on WordPress or something like that.
Yeah, I
So,
think yeah.
so that means you have covered everything, right? So, on what basis you have achieved if you have a blog?
Yeah, I think that the main that's an amazing beginning of this live session. I've really enjoyed it. I think even the guys would have really enjoyed it. I really love the way you took that first triangle and divided it. I think I still maybe in the second one, right? And I would like to maybe skip the third one and maybe directly go to the fourth one. But definitely a lot relatable, very much happening to the individual lives. It's a very good way to actually frame it out and then actually set your goals according to it, right? So you're the first that you want to get a better job
Correct.
and do how and but one thing that I think many people should work a lot more these days, as you said, is to getting your hobby as your full-time job, right? If I mean, as you said, if you get it, your hobby is a full-time job, you're never really working. So by the age of 45, I think you don't have to wait for it to go and get started with of
Correct.
your hobby's job, you are anyway doing from past 20 to 25 years. So that
Correct.
will indeed help you to achieve a lot more in your life. That's very, very well said, Naveen. I think that's an amazing start to the session. And Wi-Fi password, how can no one not relate to that? I mean, even if someone goes to their home, really, and if you ask not for the water, even for the Wi-Fi password, you
Yeah.
you are literally sharing the data, right? I mean, you go ahead and use your phone.
Okay. So that was the just the human behavioral science. Now let's talk about the science behind them.
Mhm.
So we have lots of molecules in the overall body, and they pass the message, chemical messages from one to another, and then to the brain, and then brain sends it back. Right. So our brain is a supercomputer. So you can think about small packets of information. We call it datagrams or infograms, right? So these are called neurotransmitters. So within the neurotransmitters, there are neurons. Neurons means the power pack cells, molecules. They release some chemicals to cope up with some situation. So, for example, if I feel sad or depressed, there's a serotonin. Okay. Then if for motivation there is a dopamine. So there is a 7 8 amino acids and other chemicals which get released from the brain, and they all have different works. All some are ADHD, then there Parkinson's disease, then Alzheimer's. So all these factors are covered, and they are treated accordingly as per the disease. So motivation, there's a dopamine, and I told you dopamine how to hack your motivation system, that's your scientific system. Uh, Eat yogurt, okay, which is yogurt is a good motivation boosting meal. But as we say, excess is everything is bad, so it should not be a Punjabi glass of lassi,
Oh my goodness.
right? Yeah, so it should be very adequate, like 100 grams or something, but make it a habit, and it should be taken as a meal. It should not be taken with the meal. It should be taken as a meal. Like so, if you take generally the size says we should have small amount of meals, so 4 meals a day. So one meal can be yogurt and some you can some granules or you can pour something in. And now there are yogurt cups available in market. They have the granules as well as a separate packing, and then there's a yogurt. You mix it up, and there are lots of flavors of yogurt available as well. So this is about science. So dopamine gets released when we are motivated, and it's good for health, good for brain. And ideally, if we look at the every situation, whatever we do, we have a motivation to do that, right? Why do I do the job? Because my family needs money, right? Why do my family need money? Because they have to do their course, education, upkeep, household chores, eating, food, my car expenses, anything. My parents, my siblings, they need support. So this is all related to one motivation to leaving one motivation in search of bigger motivation. So that is why. Why do we change job? For example, if I ask you,
I think maybe for a better opportunity, that maybe I'm not first, it may be like I'm not happy with my existing team. Second, maybe the salary. I think even that may be the
yeah.
second one. Right.
So
And third, maybe like I'm not comfortable, right? I want to move to a new location. It's been like 25 years at a company. So I would like to change. Yeah.
correct. So first is you are not happy, right?
Yeah.
It could
Mhm.
be the relations with the team members. It could be the a very monotonic job. So you think like I'm just a robot. I'm doing daily routine. You wanted a change, and that is why the weekend breaks are given to get
Mhm.
that change in 2 days and come back happily on the back on the Monday, right? But what happens is we do not take these breaks from the job to pursue some hobby. we just
Yeah.
surf, Amazon Prime or Netflix. We do binge watching, and then join back the office with the same body, with the same mind, and we just uh, sloth around, and nothing happens. It is just we keep more and more to we feed more and more to our body, our mind, and it will become lethargic. So what is happening here? We are overloading it. So one another trick to hack your brain for motivation is keep switching between the right and left brains. Okay, only expert do that, and there are companies who teach they just watch small video games to your kids, and they teach how to control both sides of the brains through one game only. Okay, so what happens is, that right brain is strategic decisions and all that, and then one part of brain is artistic, right? So for architecture you need one part of brain, for commercial calculations you need another part of brain. So if you are working, you think you are working like in a monotonous routine, for example programming, for example.
Yeah.
So in between the programming, you start sketching something on, you keep a notebook with you, and you start sketch something, anything. You create a caricature of Bill Gates to Elon Musk or whatever. But what will happen, this will allow you to use both side of the brain. For 20 minutes you do that, and then switch back to your work, whatever you are doing. This switchover will keep your brain happy. So uh, if you listen to it, you will not pay heed, but it is a medicine actually for achieving a greater happiness inside. So start using both side of the brains. If you think your work is too much calculative or stressed, then you check what is the other part of the brain needs, and do watch some movie or watch some funny commercials. Okay, play some tic tac toe with your colleague, play Ludo online, anything. So just flip it down, and this will help. This will keep you motivated to come back to your work. Okay, and I'm not saying Call of Duty on Xbox, because that is very addictive, right? So
Yeah.
you will never come back to your work.
Mhm.
So until unless all the enemies are dead. So
Tell me you play it.
yes, I do. So
Wow, that's great.
this is how to maintain the balance. So we will decode few more things about it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy if you have any questions, next stage questions. Or
Yeah.
so
I
so far
yeah.
I'll just summarize. So far I have explained there's a pyramid of human needs. That's our behavior, basic human behavior, and that is how we switch from one stage of needs to the other stage of needs. So that is a very practical, and we cannot skip it. I cannot say that I do not lie in these five boxes. I am somewhere, right? And second part is the science behind motivation. What happens? How do we keep motivated? What is the science behind it? Neurotransmitters, dopamine, and how to hack your dopamine by eating good food, and then by switching your brain part. Let's move forward.
I think we have one question coming from Anup Kumar. He says, "How to stay motivated in some stressful working situation, like working daily for 12 hours for fulfilling a client urgent requirement for around a month?" I think you did answer
Okay.
just now, right?
Yeah. I just gave the answer, but I
Yeah,
will, I will tell you. If this is an urgent requirement, it will not run for month, right?
yeah.
A month means you are getting a time to sleep, you're getting a time to eat, you're getting a time to think, you're getting a time to collaborate with your team members. So always keep a note back. See, as we say in India, that everyone is a bathroom singer, right?
Yeah.
So go alone and start singing something. have a sip of your favorite drink, milk, coffee, tea, whatever you want to, and start singing. Just take small breaks. And I'll tell you what, I have seen the developers who work continuously, they take sutta breaks in office. Okay. Obviously, that impacts the health. So instead of these cigarette breaks, if you take a singing break, a laughing break, a break to watch some funny commercials, a Ludo break, okay, or a sketching break. You want to sketch something, make a cartoon of your, ugly boss. So do anything funny, but and what will happen in 1 month? After 1 month, your sketching will become so good. You would like to share it on your Facebook. That will become another sort of motivation, right? Why Facebook works? What is the science behind it? It's a dopamine. Okay, when we get a like, our dopamine level increases. Whenever we post something, an image, photo, whatever, the number of likes I have will raise my dopamine levels. So this is a sign. So Rahul, was that Rahul, right? He he got the answer. So switch between your work. Don't work 20 hours straight. No one, even a machine will fail.
Yeah. But I think that the beautifully answer is to like I think from now I'm gonna put a Rubik's cube maybe, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
so
I know you
yeah,
are
if I
special. You would say that. So
I have it over there. I have it over there, but I don't use these days now. But I would surely put it over here so that whenever there's a break, right, when we do a lot of virtual conferences like 24 hours, and I'm watching screen for a really long time, I can just put up Rubik's cube, do it for, and maybe someday I can record it as you said and put it on Facebook or Twitter that hey, I did it in just 50 or 40 seconds, right? So very good feedbacks coming from there. Let's take one question from Mahesh. He says how physical exercise is related to motivation. I think we all know gyms are closed, right?
correct.
And we cannot go. I think at my place they may start, but a good question is how you can be motivated with the physical exercise.
So my nephew just made me do yoga for 1 hour before I jumping into this conference. Okay, so, and over the Skype, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So that is so again, he is motivated that I should get in, my own fitness, and that is how he called and he asked me to do all these exercises. But as Mahesh asked, so again, physical exercise going, as I said, in motivation, the first word which is picture I get it, it's gym only. Because
Hmm.
I think maybe I'm procrastinating myself, I'm not hitting the gym, and that is why I think it needs a motivation to go to gym. For rest, everything I do on time or before time, I don't feel any challenge. So physical exercise, when we do it, the more and more exercise we do, we it removes the serotonin from the body, and it releases dopamine again. So it is all about chemicals. And whenever I pick a dumbbell or I run a treadmill for at least for 500 meters today, next day I know if I run 600 meters, that will be a little achievement. And
Yes.
third day I will be posting a selfie in my gym. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so it's all dopamine, and there's a science. As I said, there's a science. We need to hack our own system to get into that zone, and then we can play around the parameters. We know there's nothing we cannot do. It is only
Hmm.
about the power of brain. We need to apply that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely, as you said, you do 500 meters today, then if you go and do it tomorrow 600, then you feel really motivated, right? That you achieved something. And
Yeah,
talking about the motivation, I think we can broadly look at it like there's a extrinsic motivation where we get a hike in salary or a prize or a medal where we feel motivated. Where there is an intrinsic motivation where we decide on ourselves that hey, tomorrow I have to get this deployment done, or maybe tomorrow I have to lift not 5 kg dumbbell, maybe a 7.5 dumbbell. Having said that, Naveen, how should one be very persistent, especially with the intrinsic motivation that hey, I have to get this project done? If it's a indie developer, or maybe I want to learn some dance or choreography, how should one be very persistent in achieving one's goal?
correct. So, when it comes to motivation, certainly it gets related to the goals. And going to gym is the one of the goal, right? Hitting the gym and then doing
Mhm.
whatever exercise you want to do. So, motivation is directly relational to the goals. Now, this is the third tweak. First, I said yogurt. Second, I said using alternate things. Now, third
Mhm.
is how practically you do it. Like in whatever you do, break your whole program into micro programs. Okay,
Okay.
and on every micro achievement, praise yourself or treat yourself. A bite of chocolate. Okay, so that will teach you two things. First, remaining on the projected timelines, because you know that this for the next step you have decided this is the timeline. I have to cover that whole program into this timeline. Okay,
Mhm.
so and then after that you greet yourself and then you praise yourself or reward yourself. Now coming to the C sharp community, how do we
Yeah.
keep our MVPs motivated or other people motivated? Right, through R&R.
Yeah.
Every company enterprise, if they want to stay, if they want their employees to stay healthier, stay motivated, stay efficient, they have an R&R program. Okay, they do have
Mhm.
gyms, even the now the grocery shops, whatever it takes to make their mentally healthy. They provide all those facilities within the campus, their office campus. So I think this is the third tip was breaking the whole program into micro programs, micro goals, and then self-rewarding themselves. So if this goal is, if this program includes your team members and as a project you are running in, then reward every employee on their accomplishment, whatsoever small they could be. So that will help them in getting things done second time more efficiently, more time, and they will stay motivated. It
Yeah.
is equivalent to a Facebook like. Trust me.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, as you mentioned about C Sharp Corner over here, definitely we follow the same procedure. I mean, if you go and post a couple of articles today, you become the top contributor for that particular day. If you continuously now, if you look that right, go to the website, hey, I'm a top contributor for the other day, right? You start contributing a little more, then you become member of the month. Then you feel like, hey, you are a member for the month. Then you start contributing for the entire year. For then you become an MVP, right? So definitely very much relatable to what you said is to keep on rewarding yourself, right? And that will how it will keep you motivated.
Yeah.
Coming back to you, Naveen, I think you bring your years of experience, right? As you said, like 25 years of experience. Let me go ahead and ask you, what is your biggest motivation? I think I know you recently moved from here to the Finland, right? It has been might be a little challenge. So how do you keep yourself motivated? I know there might be some very ups and downs in your career, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more challenges that we young guys face now. We have everything. So how do you keep yourself motivated?
So, as we say, we as a human being, we switch into different quadrants of that pyramid. Okay, so I'm not an alien, so I definitely fell into that. Uh, what keeps me motivated? I wanted to become a fighter pilot when I
Yeah.
was studying in 10th grade. Okay, that was my core purpose of the whole life. So I could not become that. So I took admission in science stream, and then I become BSc graduate. Then I thought in second year that the whole this education will lead me to the clerk only. So
Oh
once
my
the guy
goodness.
who wanted to become the fighter pilot will just
Yeah.
become the clerk, and it was in 90s, right? So there
Yeah.
were no data scientists, architects. There were no such jobs till then. And then
Hmm.
so someone introduced me. There are one thing which is called computer. Better learn that. And आने वाले time में there in future there will be lots of computer jobs available. So I thought that it would be interesting, very easier that I just need to type. So I got admission to that NIT 3 year programs, and then during the first year only we got engaged with my mentor, and he while we were learning software in NIT, we learned about hardware and networking from him. And then I became MCSE certified. And when those Microsoft used to send lots of certificates, lapel pins, and all that stuff, fancy stuff, for clearing every exam, and then Bill Gates signed certificate. We were first among the few, and it was a great. So I think we did something great, something different than
Hmm.
others, and the
Yeah.
kind of praise we received on those years, uh, we started feeling like we were cloud nine, and we had so in-depth knowledge because our mentor was good, right? And
Hmm.
now when I go to college, I think that is what keeps me in the community and all the engaged in the programs, because I want to teach the same way I got taught. So I I wanted to depart my knowledge and experience as much as I can, so that other students or youngsters, they even don't know who is a mentor. They even don't know, where to go and ask these so-called silly questions about the career and about technologies, about life. So that is why I keep helping them. That is all. My right now motivation is just the mentorship, nothing else. So I keep mentoring, I keep helping, and that keeps me happy because I think I am in blue zone now. So
Yeah, definitely you're in the blue zone. You have passed the yellow zone, love belongings, and the other one. So you are in the blue zone now. Well said, Naveen. I think when you talk about definitely, we never wanted you to be a pilot because now you would be flying Sukhoi 30, right? We would definitely not want you to do that. But that's great. Well said that you should you took. And for the guys who don't know, if Naveen says he's a passer from NIT, right? NIT is a premier institute in India, right? I think he might be a very good scholar in his class too. I'm not going to ask his percentage, but definitely more than that. More you have more than mine.
so
uh,
I gave in one or two session I shared these percentage as well, because that was uh, again about motivation, that how come failure like me can overcome all these hurdles and challenges and face life bang on. So that is what I have achieved, and luckily after that I have got so many good managers, so many good team workers. Even my team members who worked with me in the past, like 15 years, 20 years back, they wanted me to be their team member again. So they want to work with me only. So that is the love and affection I left behind. And I believe that is we call it what, our main earning, right? In this life, that you get
yeah,
so much respect and love out of your workplace. Uh, Friends, obviously, friend they love, but that's in a different way, right? Family love you, but in a different way. But if you get the love and affection at workplace, I think that means something. So this is what I got,
exactly.
and I still do. So
Yeah, so I think that's well said. Let me go ahead and ask you one question, Naveen. I do know, even in the introduction video, everyone knows that you do write quotes, right? You are someone, you're a poet, you write code, you have written books, right? So let me go ahead and ask you, what is one of your favorite motivational quote that maybe you have written or something that you like it?
correct. So I heard it from someone in we had office party, and some CFO came to our, and he just narrated these words, and I somehow the words got imbibed inside that if you want to move, there will be hurdles, right? If you want to, even if you ask your manager that I want to step up, I want to become you, so he would look at you, come on, right?
That's a risky thing
So
to do,
yeah,
definitely.
so yeah, yeah. So if you want to move, then there would be hurdles. But remember, there is no movement without any friction. So if in the science we, look at a logical reason for a movement, it is just the friction. If there is no friction, there will be no movement, right?
Mhm.
So that is what really I think transformed my overall thought process. And whenever I think of this quote, it keeps me, fills me with the energy. Whenever I encounter some challenge and hurdle at work, it's not that our life is still very smooth at office. We get lots of challenges, right?
Mhm.
So, and then I have a very funnier part of dealing with, if you cannot, if you cannot face a challenge, then step over it.
Mhm.
So, as easy as that. So, if you cannot face a fence, just step over it. So, why to bang your head in a wall? So, just step over it. So leave them
Not
behind. So
Yeah, not sure if very much comfortable with the guys facing at full-time job, right? Facing a problem, just facing problem at job, step over it.
step over.
Definitely not at this specific
I'll
time.
tell you, there are ways. For example, a developer, he is trying to get some help with the code, and he is thinking hard and hard, but nothing works. So how he will step over it? He will let others do. He will find the help, right? So do not bang your head on a wall. You might have heard that the person who asked a question, a silly question, can be fooled for once, right? But if
Yeah,
he'll not ask, he will stay fool for life. So,
exactly.
so that is how you jump over the fence, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to others, you create an ecosystem. That is why I'm coming back. My every session comes back to the community only, because
Mm-hmm.
that is the community is that ecosystem which helps you. You post a question here, you will get response, right? You
Yeah.
have all the expertise, and that is why we built this community, and we praise at every moment. And I really adore being the part of this family.
Yeah, definitely, Naveen. I think we really miss you. I've said it many times in the past, but we really miss you over here in India. But I think doing this virtual event has found one way to connect with you and to the other community members.
Yeah.
Right. As you said about mentorship, and since we are doing all this virtual, I have shared your Twitter handle in the comments. So people who are watching it, they can just go ahead and connect with Naveen. Not to disturb him when he's working, but
No, 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 no.
definitely.
I'm free to get disturbed, because I will only respond whenever my time slot allows me. So
Oh my, yeah. So yeah, he has a very nice way to schedule things. You can
yes.
definitely use
So
that.
my weekend, uh, see, in most of the, it's again part of the motivation, how to stay motivated to do
Mhm.
something innovation, because I'm an architect. I have to create different solution every day. So how do I keep motivated about it? I give my half an hour of every day to learn something new.
Wow.
I read technology articles. I read news. I read technology news. I anything which is which makes sense to me, I read it. But for half an hour, I definitely do that every day, and that keeps me updated. And I think this is the very simple mantra of keeping you updated. And
Mhm.
I'll give you very good example. So there was a colleague of mine, and he had to make very important presentation to CXO's fraternity of their customer. Okay, we were discussing. He was a pre-sales guy, so he told me, Naveen, how do you do that so easily? This is my first, and it's a very the, they were very finicky people, right? So how what is your thought process? How should we do about it? Okay, so I said nothing. What is the last perception you had? He said so it was back in, I believe, late 2009 or 10, and then he said, okay, he talked about cloud. He talked about, and cloud was only a verbal jargon on those days, right? So
Mhm.
I said, very fine. You find our company and tag these, you know, cloud and whatever the things they talked about. He said, okay. And then I said, you just, if we have any customer reference, this technology our company deployed there. Okay, we will give you case study. So just create a story around it. You don't need to learn these technologies. And he was looking at to learn these technologies. I said, no, Just use it as they are served, right? So it
Mhm.
is the storyline you serve to your customer in your presentation. So he said okay, and then he made a habit of this learning new verbal jargons for his pre-sales meetings, and every
Mhm.
half an hour every day he learned more than I learned. And then we had knowledge sharing session over the cup of tea and coffee. Then he tell me three new things which I don't know. So I
Mhm.
was happy about it that at least I need to study less because he is now working for me. So this is how your knowledge helps you ultimately.
Mhm.
So ultimately, he was summarizing over a cup of tea. He was summarizing three new technologies to me, and I
Yeah.
was happy about it that I shared it, and he was practically working it, and he was gaining input. He was gaining, his work done as well. He was getting appreciation, new orders from the customers based on that, and it was a win-win situation for everyone. So,
Oh, wow! I think that's a great example. Is like staying stick to basics. Don't make things complex,
yes,
and and just keep on learning every new day. Like I think every time we wake up and open our eyes in the morning. I think we are lucky to have one more day. And I think Steve Jobs said that live every day as it's your last
the
day.
last, yes,
Right,
yes.
right. And when you just say, just take out 30 minutes and learn something new, or maybe when you are really feeling tired of your work, take out your time, do something funny. They're the small things that will help you have a better day. And when you go back to bed and you feel that you had an amazing day. That was an amazing session, Naveen, by you. Anything, I think we've already taken 8 minutes more than we booked your calendar event.
No, it's okay.
But
It's Saturday, so it's my community day. So,
oh wow, that's so nice of you. Any last words to all those guys who have stayed us for so long, right? Almost like
so
any last few advice you'd
before
like to give them?
I think you can summarize well, but again, we talked about how what is motivation. Let's
Hmm.
we decoded it in
Yeah.
terms of chemicals that brain releases, and it is a demand of our human existence that we stay motivated for one cause or another. We just
Mhm.
give the weightage, okay? And that's another good example I'll tell you. We can create a quadrant, value versus importance, okay? And every task you said how to, and Rahul asked, it's a 20 hours how to deal with depression and all. So depression is different chemicals, serotonin. So he need to think about it and think about dopamine.
Yeah.
So one will cancel another. So if dopamine is good, then brain is more receptive. So these chemical is released. There are lots of receptors throughout our body, and they will receive it, and our body will start feeling happy about it. So exercise is the one way, okay. Then creativity is another way. Watching funny commercial, as I said, sing, dance, do anything you want. Even if you are bored in office, make the paper balls and start throwing in dustbin, right? So
Yeah.
coming back to importance versus value quadrant, so you make a list of all your programs which you need to do today, okay, and you give them each of them importance and each of them weightage to value, and then you keep least value least important, least value most important, most value most important, and most important least value, right? So you give these and then you pick what are most important and carry the most value to you. You pick those, and every morning if you create this quadrant, even in mind, first on paper and then on mind, and you will become habitual in picking up the right task for every day.
Well, definitely, I think as you said with the quadrants, one will have to definitely go back and replay it to understand it a lot better, right? For now, it went over my head, but I would definitely this
I,
video will
I
be
can
available.
I can create a whiteboard if you want to, but I don't think we have much time left. So
Yeah.
it's a value. It's value versus importance.
Hmm.
So uh, see, there are four quadrant, right? So in
Yeah.
one goes. most important, most valuable task. Okay.
Okay.
In the second one, least important, most valuable.
Okay.
Fine. In the third, least important, least valuable.
Okay.
And in the fourth, most important, least valuable.
I get it now.
Yeah. You just need, you have two values of each, most important, least important, and
Hmm.
most value, least value. You just create a combo of four.
Yeah, and I think then I can put it on my this wall and add some sticky notes to it, and
Yes,
definitely I can decide which one to do first, depending on that. That's a very great way to get to put,
correct.
divide things and get their work.
This is from the seven great habits of all the successful people. They do it that way.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was a great session, Naveen. Really, your experience tells that your 25 years of experience, right, on how you have managed to stay here in this, tech field. You're an enterprise architect. You have a team of 20, 25 solution architects, as you're telling. So there's a lot of pressure that you get, and still, of course, you are motivated, and that's how you carry on and lead your
Yeah.
team. Before I just close up, we have an Angular Virtuous Conference coming on 25th of July. We have around 8 speakers. We have around 7 Google developer experts, 2 Googlers, and one from the core team of this Angular. We are really excited and looking forward for this Angular conference. I have shared the link in the description. Sorry, in the comments. You guys can go ahead and register and have a look for this conference. Having said that, Naveen, I really want to thank you for your valuable time and
Wow.
the contributions to what you have made to the community. I, Stephen Simon, as a host of the show, felt this was one of the really a knowledge session, right, in the coffee with the pro show. And I would like to thank you for on behalf of entire C Sharp Corner community and its millions of users for being a part of our family. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.